Welcome to the Ekhoing Vitality podcast with Josh and Taylor. I'm Josh, Czech practitioner, and I help you rediscover your vitality.
And I'm Taylor Blakely, your integrative nutritionist with a passion for making wellness simple, sustainable, and fun.
We've been through it all. Back pain, gut issues, the stress of starting over after big moves, and finding our way through life's curveballs.
Now we're here to share real stories, proven tools, and plenty of laughs to help you create a life full of vitality.
So if you're ready to take control of your health and thrive,
let's dive into today's episode, and don't forget, hit subscribe so you can join us every week. Hi, welcome back to the Ekhoing Vitality podcast with me and my husband Josh. This episode, we are actually on episode 11. Crazy. But we have the topic of strategies to increase physical fitness and wellness. So, it's the new year, and this tends to be a time where people may need a little support, some strategies, some tips and tricks. So we would like to offer some of the things that we have heard and implemented in our own lives and give some clarity to people around this topic. So I'm excited for you guys to listen to this one.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really good one for people. But first, I think we're going to start with our weekly update.
Nice. Our weekly update. Do you want to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, like Taylor said, it's the new year, so that happened. And on New Year's Eve, we painted. Mm-hmm. I did sort of a mandala. What'd you do?
I painted a baby in the womb, surrounded by flowers, and the sun was shining down, and it was just really beautiful, I thought.
Well, I painted a tree with koi fish and the third chakra. I don't know. Do you want to talk about it?
What, the third chakra? Or what do you mean?
Your painting.
My painting? Well...
Or...
Yeah, we can do that. You go first.
Okay, well...
So I can think about this.
Well, I basically came up with 3 words right before we painted for the new year.
Hey, I mean, that's the purpose of it,
and
right?
It was confidence, growth...
Abundance.
Oh, abundance. That's
Mm-hmm.
right. I was thinking wealth in my head, but...
Almost. Maybe that's what your thought was,
Huh?
Maybe that's what your thought was, wealth, abundance and wealth this year. Whatever that looks like to you.
No, yeah, definitely. Mm-hmm. Wealth is a part of it. I mean, yeah, for the koi fish, I put 3, which in my head represents Taylor and I and our future baby. But it also represents wealth and abundance. And the tree represents, grounding, but also earth and growth, because trees grow.
And they're stable.
And they're stable, yeah. And the
strong.
third chakra is for confidence, as the third chakra is your personal power and self-will. So, yeah.
Yeah, I like that. So my painting represented essentially fertility and honoring the life that was being created within me, essentially. And I feel like I'm trying to be in this stage of true nourishment in my body. And that's from food to my mind to movements. And it's been an interesting end of year into the new year because my energy has been so low and a bit moody. And so I was thinking, okay, well, I gotta be in the dark roots, and where the seed is planted, and it's kind of dark there. And so I'm like, okay, maybe that's where I'm at. So painting something so bright, something that's so light, like a baby, and creating life, that's a really big deal. And just a way to kind of wrap our 2024, like giving thanks to the year, to the life that was growing in me. And even though it was short, it was something that I felt needed honoring. So and then the root chakra, right? That's kind of where I was representing, right? The root. Oh, no, sacral. Because that's where the womb is. Yeah, sacral. So second chakra. And that is a lot of safety, right? And
sexuality, procreation.
Yeah. Oh, procreation. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah. And so just honoring that chakra for myself. So that's kind of what that painting meant, I guess.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah. And I painted on there 3 little stars, not necessarily thinking. Josh always puts it into perspective. Why did you paint 3 stars? I don't know. And then your subconscious does super cool things when you paint. And I just felt like 3 stars was plenty on the painting. And he's like, well, maybe that represents our future baby. So I thought, oh, well, that's pretty cool. He drew or painted 3 koi fish. And just so some synchronicities there.
Yeah.
You know.
Definitely.
So, a lot of flowiness happening.
Yeah. The art is a representation of the mind. And oftentimes the subconscious, whether we know it or not.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty cool.
And I think that's why, art therapy is a good thing. Someone can help you interpret your art if you want. It can be pretty cool.
Yeah, I like that.
What else do we do? You went to a tea party or something.
I did with Cindy Ray, and it was so wonderful. It was at, at her new Happiness Hives location, downtown Coeur d'Alene. And there was just a bunch of beautiful women there who just have beautiful stories and are on similar path of healing and getting out of the grind of like not working so much for other people and doing so much for other people and finally putting themselves first, their health, their happiness. And I think being around women like that is really important because they're setting up an example for, the people that you surround yourself with. It rubs off on you, their energy. And it just reminded me that it was okay for me to slow down the end of this year here because I needed that like deep rest. And so just being around women like that was really helpful for me. And women. I just love women.
Yeah.
So that was fun. And then the tea was great. Cindy has her own brand, her own detox brand. She has like a deck of cards and whatnot, and great. And she made a delicious soup, so it was great.
Nice. Yeah. Seems like it was therapeutic for you.
Yeah. People, community, women. And then you read and finished a book.
Yeah, I finished Braiding Sweetgrass finally. I've been reading it for the whole 2024, slowly but surely, and I kind of wanted to finish it before the end of the year, but I only really made that goal because I was close to finishing it in early December. It wasn't like a hard goal, like, oh, I didn't finish it. Freaking idiot. No, I was close and I just wanted to finish it. So
you finished it last night, right?
Yeah, last night.
Yeah, and that was June. Oh my gosh, January 4th. Yeah. So I mean, pretty close. Like that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know what day I started it, but yeah, I finished it last night. It's a really good book. If you guys are looking for another one to read, definitely recommend that one. But I also finished Squid Games, the 2nd season.
Oh yeah.
I binge watched the shit out of that.
So you enjoyed Squid Games?
I enjoyed Squid Games. Yeah, I think it's a great series, but it's the only dubbed series I will ever watch, probably.
Yeah.
Because I do not like dubbed things. They just are weird to me.
It's hard for you to watch.
Yeah. But anyways, if y'all are looking for another Netflix series, Squid Games is pretty sick. It is bloody.
Yeah, I was watching it a little bit, but I was doing my own thing during that time. And then one of my really good longtime friends since like elementary school, she messaged me and she invited me to go to the sauna, and I was so down. And so I left while Josh had his marathon, his Squid Game marathon. And yeah, we just spent a lot of time just catching up. We don't see each other very often, but when we do catch up, it's always beautiful and very supportive and reconnecting and going over like this past year. And it was just needed, just so needed. So I'm so thankful she reached out and suggested going to the sauna because it was what I needed. We were in there for a long time, like almost 2 hours or something like that. Like it was a long time. We took breaks, but towards the end of it, we just sat on the floor because it was warm. Drank tons of water, put tons of sea salt in my water, and it made it fine. It was okay, but it was really great.
Yeah, gotta get those electrolytes in.
Oh, and the book that I'm reading right now, I'm almost done. I have 1 chapter left. I could have finished it last night, but I decided not to. But I'm reading Spirit Babies, and it has been such a beautiful book and put so many words to the feelings that I have been feeling, and it puts things into context where I don't feel so like blaming myself or anything. Like I don't feel any blame. I don't feel any shame in the way my pregnancies have ended. And I truly believe that it's on a spiritual level. There's so many things that I learned in this book where I'm like, that is mind-blowing and makes so much sense to me. So if anybody is interested in that book, I forget who it's written by, but it's called Spirit Babies. And it's by a guy who is a clairvoyant, and he can speak to spirit babies. He can contact your spirit baby. And I would actually really love to do that one of these days. And yeah, he also teaches you how to connect with your spirit baby through meditation and chants. I haven't done anything like that yet because I wanted to finish the book first and then kind of get into contacting, because I feel like I've had a really hard time connecting with our baby on a spiritual note. But our baby had contacted Josh through a dream, so that was beautiful. So I learned about these things called tethers. A spirit baby can be tethered to one or both parents, and this baby could very well potentially be tethered to Josh.
Could be.
And yeah, so I just feel like she might be a daddy's girl. And yeah, so I don't know if we're gonna have a girl or a boy, but I don't know. It feels pretty like on the girl side. So, I mean, you had a dream about it.
I did indeed. I did indeed.
Yeah. And another cool thing I learned about that from that book is that a spirit baby, you can have multiple spirit babies kind of in line. So you can ask, like, if someone is clairvoyant and they can contact your spirit baby, they can literally ask the firstborn and ask how many more babies are in line. And I thought that was absolutely fascinating.
Yeah.
So I don't know how many babies we got in line, but
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. So beautiful book. Loved it. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think that concludes our weekly update. And so now we can transition into the main subject, which is different strategies to increase physical fitness and wellness going into the new year or any time. So I guess I'll probably start out with different methods that people can use going into the new year, what's common and what's uncommon. I think the most common one right now is people are getting gym memberships, most likely. People are becoming more aware of their health, which is great. But what people are what people are not generally doing is incorporating play or freedom into the structure that they think they have to do. And I think that's a big reason why a lot of these people who get gym memberships tend to fall off the bandwagon, 2 months down the road, or even 1 month, 4 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it happens to be for people. I'm sure it's different for everyone, but I think it's because people think they have to be in the gym. And you don't. You don't have to be in the gym. If you are a gym person, you can be in the gym. But if you're a workout at home type of person, going to the gym is going to seem like a dread. Like, for example, Taylor and I are not gym people.
I am not a gym person. I have worked out plenty in a gym setting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But it's just not my ideal or go-to. Like, if I have to drive somewhere to go do my workout, I'm most likely not going to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I don't ever like driving to the gym. I don't know really why. I just like working out. I'd rather work out at home. Or I also like to implement more of the methods we'll talk about later, which is more on the play side. But I think it's important that you guys listening find something that you actually like to do. Because when you enjoy it, you'll stick with it longer. Obviously come up with your goals and all that. But to accompany your goal, you've got to make a choice that is going to be the most beneficial going forward.
I feel like there's a couple questions that you can ask yourself. One, will this be sustainable to my current lifestyle?
Yeah.
And another one is, will I enjoy this?
Yeah, I think that's a great question.
Simple questions. Is this sustainable, and will I enjoy this? Like if you're forcing yourself, like for me, and probably Josh too, having to drive someplace to go to the gym, logically to us, like that would not be sustainable. Nope.
Yeah, we've done it. Like I think we did it for a few months a long time ago, and it was just like trying to fit into this status quo of like wake up at 5 a.m., then drive your ass to the gym and be a 10Xer. The typical 10Xer thing, which you've probably heard us talk about in other podcasts. And for us, it just doesn't work. So
you got to find the obstacles that are in the way.
Yeah, you got to make it easy for yourself. Make it easily attainable.
And enjoyable.
And realistic.
Yes. All those things.
Yeah, all of the things. And so it's interesting because the gym can be a great place for people. Like if you're a gym person, go to the gym. Do it.
What if you only live a few minutes away and you're like, oh yeah, that's easy for me. I could walk there. Cool. Honestly, if we could probably walk to the gym, we would probably go.
Probably.
If we could just walk there, it would be totally fine.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh yeah, let's go. Like we get our walk in, because we already do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Like our walks are important to us. And then, so like the obstacle right now is we live 10 minutes or so from the gym, which isn't that far.
It's not far.
But also it's not an ideal gym for us.
Right.
Like the things that we would want in a gym. Which for me is actually pretty basic, but
Yeah.
Pretty basic, but if we live just walking distance, I feel like that would be...
Well, actually, here's how much we are not gym people. We actually get 2 free gym memberships at 2 different places. So, like, for us, it's not a financial barrier.
No,
It's
that's
not a financial
not ours.
barrier. And it's just the simple fact that we like to work out at home or move
In
outside
nature.
or calisthenics or using dumbbells at home or whatever. There's lots of different methods than, moving iron at the gym. And I think that's the key thing I want to just make sure people understand is what I'm saying is the gym's awesome if you like it and it's sustainable for you and it's going to work. Or if you're a disciplined person to go. If you're not and you have always had trouble with it, then make it easier on yourself because some movement at home, actually you can get an excellent workout at home.
Oh, yeah.
Even with no weights. And so as long as you can get the discipline and the commitment part and the consistent part right, no matter where you're going, the gym or your house or outside or wherever, that's a good thing.
Oh, yeah. I would have to agree.
Yeah.
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 Just getting it in and whatever works for you, and not following the status quo of what's happening right now in the world because you hear the new year, new me, and it's like, well, how about you stay you, but you just keep the commitments that you made to yourself. Then who will you be in a year? If you just keep your commitments to yourself.
Or share them, but yeah.
Or share them.
Yeah, share them with an accountability partner.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I get what you're saying. So anyways, that's kind of the gym versus other options. And so hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, drop some questions in the question area, wherever the hell that is. I know it's there somewhere.
I know we
because I don't turn it off. So, anyways, drop a comment if you want, question. But do you want to add anything else to that?
No, I think you covered it.
Okay.
As far as I think you did good.
Okay, so here's the other part of that is it's kind of along the same concepts, just different ways of looking at this concept of logical exercise with specific numbered variables of sets, reps, tempos, and load versus just moving your body. So
you're pretty well equipped in both of these areas.
Yeah, I'm very equipped in both areas.
Yeah.
However, I will say the fact that I am equipped in both areas, yet I still lean on the movement play side. I mean, I'm just going to lean into that more.
Yeah.
But when I get clients, depending on where they're at on the spectrum and what they need or want, I'm going to either give them more movement or more specific variables. And more oftentimes than not, it's specific variables because what they need is very specific.
Yeah,
there's imbalances, headaches, or back pain or whatever, where you just need specific variables to start.
Yeah. And so sometimes you just have to really, like as a client, be dedicated to that plan to like get out of the dysfunction.
Yeah.
And then think about moving into that more play.
Exactly,
movement,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, or incorporating play into the program schedule. I'll do that a lot of the times too. Yeah. For example, I'll actually just tell you guys how I build out programs for our clients. It's based on a four-phase method, I guess. So it starts with flexibility, then it moves to stability, which are kind of done in conjunction with each other at the same time. Then it goes into strength, and then power. So I
You don't
always...
start people off with power.
Hell no, we don't start... Hell no.
Yeah.
You know how rare it is that someone should be doing power to start? Mm-hmm. It's very rare that anyone should be doing that. And the reason I start them out, how I start them out, is simply to prevent injuries. Mm-hmm. It's all about injury prevention, because if you're injured, you ain't going to be moving.
Yeah.
And that's going to suck for people. It's going to take the joy out of their life.
Mm-hmm. So this is more of a longevity protocol.
Yeah.
Make sure that your foundation is set for movement so you don't get injured as you're older.
Right, exactly. Mm-hmm. Or anytime. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so always starting with posture, alignment, and proper length tension relationships between muscles. That's the specific. Mm-hmm. That's the logical targets. But on the other side of that schedule might be play or just regular movement. So how does it differ? Well, the logical things might be like, I need you to do 10 to 12 squats, for 2 to 3 sets at a 2-1-2 tempo, which means, maybe you go down for 2 seconds, hold it for a second, then go back up for 2 seconds, and do that 10 to 12 times to target a specific muscle fiber in the body to target either, fast twitch muscles or slow twitch muscles. Tonic postural muscles versus phasic, more movement heavy muscles. I won't really get into that. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to get into that, but try to keep it more simple for people. Mm-hmm. So you have that, and then maybe in the evenings a few times a week, or in the mornings a few times a week, you're out there riding a horse, or maybe you're out there gardening, or maybe you're out there hiking a trail outside. Maybe
You'll incorporate those things in your program. Great.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if they...
And you get to know your client.
Yeah.
Like, what are their interests, What
yeah,
did they
exactly.
used to do, right? That they're no longer doing. Like, dance is a really great one.
Yeah, dance.
Right?
Go fucking dance.
Yeah.
Go find a dance class, or, I don't know, salsa dance class, or...
Even Zumba.
Whatever. Zumba.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just anything.
Yeah.
But
like
anyways,
if you do have a gym membership.
Yeah, and sometimes gyms do have those classes. So it's like, yeah, go find something you like to do and fit that in. Or ride your bike. It can be anything like that. So I'm always asking people, what do you like to do? What kind of movement do you like to do? What kind of stuff? How much time do you have? What kind of equipment do you have? How much money do you have each month to do things? So that would be like play. Or for me, play is like parkour, jumping on stuff.
Balancing on things.
Yeah, balancing, swinging, using my body.
Climbing.
Yeah, climbing stuff. That would be the play side. So,
why do you think you're attracted to the more play side? Especially the parkour and like free running type of movement?
I don't know, but I could speculate, I guess. I don't know anyone in my family who's really ever been consistent in the gym. I can't think of anyone even right now who goes to the gym in my family. Yeah. Maybe there's somebody, I just don't know.
Yeah.
But I never saw it. I never witnessed it. I was never around it, a part of it. But what I was more a part of is hard work, sweat equity, that type of thing, which is more free, right? Because you're just moving, you're just doing stuff. It's not like, oh, you need to swing the axe 10 to 12 times to chop the tree down.
Yeah, you're just swinging.
Yeah, you're just swinging until it chops down. Or you're not like, I need to squat 5 times before I pick the carrot out of the garden. I mean, I guess you could do that, but...
Yeah, maybe we should ask Ruth if she does that.
Yeah, exactly. Ruth is one of our friends / old clients. But yeah, So I think I've always just been a part of the freedom thing, the freedom part, the play part. And I did grow up actually with lots of kids in the neighborhood where we just played backyard sports. And it was just fun.
Yeah.
So that's probably why.
So a lot less structure.
There was no structure, no. Never really any structure. It was just go do stuff and have fun.
Yeah. I'd imagine some of the games that you guys played had some structure.
Oh, yeah, I mean, there's rules, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not like, oh, we've got to go practice kickball in the backyard at 3 p.m. every day for an hour. No, it's like, we're just going to go play kickball.
Yeah, it was just fun.
Yeah, so I don't know, that's probably why. I do know that I can be disciplined and commit to things if I want to.
Yeah.
So it is a little harder for me, but I can do it. So I'm not, but I like to lean into what I like to do, and I encourage other people to do the same thing.
Yeah, to do what you like to do.
But also, we do have to do things we don't want to do sometimes.
Yeah.
If we want to be healthy.
Or make a drastic change.
And make a change, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good on those fronts. I would like to also add, in the training that I have, it's very science, but it's also art. So it's a really good mixture of things. But I would say it is actually more on the science side. The more scientific, logical side of like, how do I program this for somebody very specifically to get a very ideal outcome, But I've also always followed this guy. His name is Ido Portal, and obviously my background is in parkour and free running, which there's no structure. Like no one even conditioned for it when I was doing it, meaning exercise for it. Yeah. So I think I have and yoga is a background, which can be structured or unstructured. So I actually feel like I have a really good background of both worlds. So I feel like I can talk about it pretty well with people. But I forget where I was going with that, to be honest. Oh, I was going to say, sometimes it is actually hard for me to do workouts, which is something I'm kind of breaking free from in the last couple months, is, with all my check training, is like, we need specific variables for my workouts. I need to track things.
Yeah.
And I'm just not that guy.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like let that go. However, I do specific things at the same time, but just not as structured, I guess.
Yeah.
But then I always try to remember the play side from Ido Portal, where it's just like movement. But even with that, there's like movement mastery, right? You want to still progress. For example, if you're trying to learn a round off back handspring backflip or some shit like that, well, you have to start with a cartwheel. And so then you have to master the cartwheel. Then you have to master the round off. And then you have to master like little details in that. So there's still like some structure even in the play. So
otherwise there's a little bit more injury, right?
Oh, of course, yeah. If you don't know how to do a backflip and you try to backflip, it's not going to be a good day for you.
Yeah. Just trying to put it out there that like there is still structure as well. So there's still risk to the play as well.
Yeah, so, and I think the same can be said the opposite way. Like if you've got your logical numbers, specific variables, reps, sets, tempos, specific exercises that you're doing, especially if you're a bodybuilder, then if you like bodybuilding, then do that. Don't worry about what anyone else thinks. Just do bodybuilding. But you can also have play in that,
How do you incorporate play in that, like more structure side of things? Not just bodybuilding, but like in the structure.
In the gym even? I'm not sure exactly because I've never really done it, but I guess I could think off the top of my head. I'd maybe encourage trying different workouts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, try different exercises.
Spicing it up and...
Yeah, different methods, different people's methodologies.
Okay.
You know, because that could keep it fun for you if you're like a cat personality. If you know you're like a what's called a salamander personality, then you might not find that you even need or want to do that. You might just be fine. Like, oh well, I love routines. I go to the gym Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Do some active rest days in between, and that's good, man. Have coffee every day. Yeah, so that's good.
Yep.
But I don't like routines that much though, so I gotta switch it up.
Well, we have routines, but we switch it up, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep things fresh.
Yeah, so you can have fun with it in that way. Try different things, new modalities, but you can still hit your goal by trying different things. You know?
And honestly, I feel like I hear women talk about like their plateau, you know, in their fitness journey or their weight loss journey or something like that. And sometimes they're just doing the same thing over and over and over again, and it worked to a certain degree, and then all of a sudden they plateau, and then they're like frustrated and they feel like, why is this no longer working? It used to work. But sometimes just changing it up, you know, makes all the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Because the body goes into homeostasis once it finds out its equilibrium.
Yeah.
Essentially, that it goes, oh, this is safe. This is good. We no longer need to lose fat. We no longer need to build muscle. We no longer need to do this. This is just our norm.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so when you switch things up, that's maybe when you start seeing the muscle growth, like in your biceps or your triceps or whatever, where it's like, okay, you lost the fat and now you're like, where's my muscle now? You know? And so sometimes it could be just switching it up. And switching it up can mean different workouts. It could mean, you know, changing your nutrition. It could mean offloading some stress, like all kinds of different things, but just switching it up.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, plateaus, that's a good way to get over a plateau.
Yeah.
Just change it. If it's not working, change it.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of getting, like, maybe you have your 5-minute tantrum of like, oh, it's, you know, you're frustrated with it. And then you just go, okay, what do I need to do? Like, what's not working? You know, you address what's not working. Well, what else can I do that could be fun?
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Plus, if you're not having fun, then what are you even doing?
Yeah.
That's how I see it.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I was going to have a point on that. Forget what it was, but it'll probably come back.
So I wanted to talk about...
You want to talk about NEAT?
Oh, yeah.
You ready for that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be ready for that. So I heard this concept a really long time ago. And I forgot that there was like a acronym for it. And there's a lot of studies done on it. Like I went back and I seen some from 2004, 2005. The most recent one I saw was from 2015, and it was linking NEAT, N-E-A-T, which is the non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And essentially what that means is all the activities that you do in your day-to-day life that is not sleeping and not dedicated exercise, like going to the gym or like movement or like a sports activity. Like it's none of those. It's your walking, it's your doing chores around the house, it's fidgeting also. Like it's just these other movements that you do throughout the day.
Yeah, like my leg during this whole podcast.
Yeah, just fidgeting.
And
now,
up and down.
well, when I like read this on PubMed, I was like, oh, I better like stop, like, because sometimes I'll literally put my hand on his knee and be like, stop. Stop fidgeting so much. And that is probably something more to do with me than with him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But anyways, non-exercise activity thermogenesis is things that you could do to improve the quality of your life, essentially.
In your wellness, yeah.
In your wellness. Like,
throughout the day.
yes, this is like the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. How much movement do you have or that you are doing throughout the day? So I don't know if some of you have seen the videos that Josh put on his stories, like on Facebook and Instagram, but we will literally park the very furthest that we can in the Costco parking lot and walk into Costco, even on super cold days.
Yeah. Literally the back of the parking lot.
Yeah, like they don't even have the carts, as what is
return,
that?
Return.
The cart return. They don't even have one back there. So we have to again walk all the way to like 3/4 of the parking lot to put the cart back even. So anyways, we do this. We like parking far away, and that's kind of one of the most common tips that you hear out there is just get more steps in, because that's a part of this non-exercise activity thermogenesis NEAT. It is one of the most easy things. That's things like taking the stairs instead of the elevator.
Mm-hmm.
That's things like getting a standing desk versus a sitting desk. That's sitting on an exercise ball versus a chair. Like your body is having to constantly be balancing on that chair. Like it's activating your core muscles. And maybe it's not like fatiguing them, but it's working.
It's doing more than a chair would.
Yeah. You're sitting in a chair causes so many like dysfunctions in the body. Like these chairs that we're sitting in right now are not great. They're kind of comfy.
It's temporary though.
It's temporary, but just being aware of all of these little movements that you do throughout the day. And where did we hear that term movement snack? Like, where?
Oh, Katie Bowman, the author of Move Your DNA, talks about movement stacks. I also believe there's some other people who talk about it. I'm not sure where the concept originated.
Yeah, I'm not
but
sure either.
movement snacks would fit into the NEAT concept, kind of.
Yeah.
Because it's creating opportunities in your life to fit more movement in.
Yes.
Here's another example of one that Taylor and I do. We actually have our bed on the floor. Because when we go to bed, you can either jump in it like Superman.
Which he does sometimes. Or he'll throw the cats in the bed. He's just like...
Yeah, or you can do a squat to get in bed, or a lunge, or something like that. You have to get down to close to the ground, and not many people are squatting ass to grass anymore. So this gives us the opportunity to bend our legs the very first thing in the morning and in the evening. So again, this is just increasing opportunities for us to participate in.
Yeah. I like that you mentioned that. That wasn't even on my radar, but it is known, and I wish I would have done more research, but the closer you are to the floor, they do this in a lot of Asian cultures,
eating on the cushion on the floor.
Yeah, eating on the floor and sleeping on the floor. Like you're just closer to the earth, which makes you more grounded, but you get into a better range of movement, like your joints go into
from getting up and down.
Yeah, from getting up and down. Yeah, like you said, creating more of that opportunity to do that. So yeah, we do that literally every morning and every night because our bed is on the floor.
Yeah, what's that equal? Like if you do a squat every single day to get in bed and out of bed, that's what's 365 times 2? What's that many?
365 times 2. 730.
That's 730 squats in the whole year.
Yeah.
That you would not have done otherwise.
Yeah.
So think about it that way. I know you guys are like, damn.
That's a lot of squats.
Yeah, that's actually pretty crazy. I can't think of another example. The elevator stairs, parking further away, the bed on the floor. Even things like when you put your shoes on, I guess, standing on one leg.
Oh, balancing.
Balancing.
I do that a lot, actually.
When you're in the kitchen, don't lean up against the counters.
Oh,
Just stand up. Yeah, the Swiss ball chair is a great one. Treadmill.
My coach will put a treadmill underneath her desk, so she just walks and does her meetings. And I thought that was really, really cool, because then she can get her steps in, and instead of just being static.
Yeah,
you know.
I think that's great. Yeah. Okay, those are all excellent.
Yeah.
Neat.
Oh, another thing. I know, it's so neat. So, I just wanted to read this. This is on...
Oh, is it a study?
Yeah, it's on PubMed. It's non-exercise activity thermogenesis in obesity management.
Oh.
So, this article basically was saying that the more you move throughout the day can make a significant difference in keeping your weight at a healthy weight. So, like, that's huge. Just getting in, that's how important movement is. And in modern society, we don't move nearly as much. And even for pregnant women, like, pregnant women now are told to rest so much more.
Oh, yeah.
Than like, historically. Like, women were moving a lot. Pregnant women were moving a lot, especially if they had other children. And then there was just a lot more to do, whether that's like cleaning clothes, like dishes, gardening, that's huge. Baking, so many things. You're just moving all day, essentially. And with the convenience of like packaged food and everything like that now, like, you don't have to make your own bread anymore. You can just go buy it at the store. And so this is essentially saying that the more you move, the better your weight is, and the easier it is to manage your weight. And so this is on PubMed, right? And I'm reading this and I'm like, I had to double check the calories. It says these high effect NEAT movements could result in up to an extra 2,000 kcals of expenditure per day. I think I said that word. Expenditure per day beyond the basal metabolic rate, depending on body weight and the level of activity you have throughout the day. So, yeah, I don't like that word. Expenditure.
I can't even repeat how you said that.
Well, you'll get to look at that. So anyways, this is just 2,000 extra calories just by moving, like, throughout the day.
Yeah, and I think that's a great study. I also would like to point out that calories are a huge focus going into the new year with these gym goers, right? Counting calories, counting macros, hitting protein goals, fat goals, carb goals. But there is also, that goes with the logical versus the play, the freedom.
Oh, yeah.
If that is going to be a barrier for you and you cannot find it within yourself to do that.
To do what?
Count stuff.
Oh,
count your calories, count your macros, micros. Then you need to be eliminating that, because eventually you're going to stop eating healthy and you're just going to go back to your old ways. No, it's not the case. This is generally speaking, of course. Then you need to go back into a freedom-oriented way of doing it. Because let's be real, the gym and play are great methods to incorporate going into the new year. You can do both or one, whatever. Counting stuff, it can be effective for people if they like it. If they don't like it, then you got to get the play side on. which would be more like, there's different methods, like splitting up your plate. There's like even plates on Amazon you can buy. There's like the hand palm method. Like put this, if you can fit it in your fist, that's how many proteins you get or whatever. And there's guides and stuff on that online too. And there's more intuitive eating methods. And so there's different ways that you can do it. You don't always have to stick to what you see online. If you want to count, then count. If you don't want to count, don't fucking count.
Yeah.
If one's not working for you, then do the other one.
Yeah. That's a good point. Going into the new year, we are just bombarded with ads, and even in the grocery stores, just bombarded with all the packaging that says, "Eat me, I'm healthy, I'm only 100 calories," And I just want to let people know that if you lean into the more intuitive side of eating and less on the calorie counting side, and you just want to eat whole foods, foods that come from the earth, that are very, very minimally processed, have like 6 ingredients or less on the packaging, and the ingredients are all whole food form, it makes it a little bit more enjoyable eating that way, instead of obsessing over the amount of calories that are in a packaged food. So if you are on the side of like, I get too obsessive over counting calories, or when I do count calories, like I find some results, but then when I get off of counting calories, I gain the weight back. And most of the time it ends up being just too many packaged foods, too many, because those are not nutrient dense. Like they're not going to do the same in your body as whole raw foods, like vegetables and fruit, nuts, seeds, pasture raised meats, organic foods. It's just so much more wholesome that way.
Yeah.
And when you eat more on that wholesome side, you'll begin to feel like you no longer need to count calories.
Yeah.
So whatever works for you, you have to figure that out. And sometimes that is just finding out your base calorie intake, your protein, fat, carb intake. You might have to count that for, I don't know, a week or so, just to kind of get an idea. But we don't ever want people to feel like that's the end all be all, is just calories.
Yeah, you've got options. Whatever you want to do, just do it. If it doesn't work, don't do it. If it does work, do it.
So the cool thing, what NEAT is talking about, it's talking less about food and just the metabolic, what is it called? What do they call?
Basal metabolic
rate. Basal metabolic rate.
BMR,
and that's the amount of energy that your body burns. So it's mostly talking about the energy that you burn throughout the day, just by being here, by being living, like a living person.
Yeah, what's it take to keep the body running, to keep the lights on?
Yeah. And typically the more muscle you have, the more calories that you burn throughout the day. So your metabolism is just more revved up, and it can burn calories a lot more quickly, versus somebody who lives in a more sedentary lifestyle, because the body goes, it gets used to it and says, I no longer need to burn so many calories because I'm not moving. So that's the difference in the calories that I was talking here. But it's a really good point, just to bring up the calorie mindset.
Yeah.
It still matters to a degree, because food is calories, and energy output is also technically calculated in calories, like how many calories you can burn. But essentially what the goal is, how do we get the body to burn more calories? And that's through movement and building muscle. So, and another thing is just eating whole foods so that it can burn calories and build muscle efficiently.
More clean energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, more clean energy. So
yeah, the whole calorie counting thing, it obviously works for people. Mm-hmm. No one can deny that. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm saying, like, if it works for you, then do it. I don't really promote it a whole lot myself, but the reason I don't really like to promote it is because I don't think people can stick to it very often.
yeah,
Some people can, but also I find that when people are counting, they are only looking at calories and not looking at anything else.
not looking at nutrients. Like how nutrient dense is this food?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, how clean is the food? How nutrient dense is the food?
Yeah.
How much I forget what I was going to say.
The
Vitamins,
thing,
minerals.
yeah, nutrient deficiencies are huge.
Yes.
And if you're eating mostly packaged food, even if it says it's like healthy, and there's a lot of greenwashing, and basically that's just saying that this is healthier than what it actually is. So it's a lot of marketing. Dollars go into getting somebody to pay for their food versus that, and then they upcharge you a lot because it's got pretty packaging. But if you just buy the beets from the grocery store or the farmer's market, and like they're just pulled from the ground versus the beets that are in the packaging, like the beets that were freshly pulled are going to have a lot more nutrients in them versus the one that had been packaged and says that it can be shelf stable for however long. Mm-hmm. There's a difference. So it's better, by all means, buying more whole foods like in packaged form it's better than buying like junk food, of course.
Oh yeah.
But
your bones are going to like you more, your organs and your glands are going to like you more.
Your skin and your mood.
Your brain, man, just everything.
Your sleep. And movement only helps that. Mm-hmm. Like, you want your body to be like a happy tired at the end of the day. Like that felt good. I can do that again tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Instead of so drained, like, imagine that feeling, like going to bed and like, I do not want to do that again tomorrow.
Oh yeah, like recovery is going to be much better.
Yeah, recovery is just going to feel so much better when you are nourished in all the right foods instead of like all of these protein powders and protein bars and things like that, which there are some brands out there that are way better than others, and we use them every once in a while, but that's not our main source of like protein.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Or meal replacements or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we can't just live on whey protein all fucking day. Gotta eat some real food.
Yeah, like the isolates, those are not doing you any favors. Just avoid those. You want like a well-rounded protein source, especially if it comes from powder.
Yeah, totally.
You want to make sure it still has fat and carbs and
yeah,
all the good things in it. So not just a protein isolate, because body was not made to break down protein by itself. So I know people try to meet their protein goals and just drinking straight up protein, whey protein with some maybe chocolate or vanilla flavoring. That's not helpful.
Or worse, Fruit Loops flavored, Oreo flavored.
Oh gosh.
Throw that shit away, please.
Yeah, those are not good. They're not good for you. The body doesn't recognize it as food at all. It just goes, chemicals, how do I process this? And the liver's like, what the F? I got to get this out of my system. Detox.
Yeah, if you can do better, then do better. I mean, just make better choices. If you can't, then I don't know.
Yeah. I will say, healthy packaged food, You know, they can have all the certifications, regenerative farm, organic, non-GMO, all of those things. They're expensive as heck. But if you just eat like from the produce section and you create your meals from home, it is so much cheaper. Like, you don't have to buy all of the packaged healthy
choice frozen meals.
Oh yeah, that's not even on my radar.
Well, that's what people buy.
Yeah. But I'm thinking like in a health food store. Like if you go to the health food store and you buy all the organic and, you know, non-GMO packaged meals, like they're expensive.
Oh yeah, like
Annie's,
and so, is that the one?
Annie's, yeah, they're pretty expensive.
Yeah, like $7 or something.
You don't have to buy those. People say, oh, well, it's so expensive to eat healthy. And it's like, yeah, if you choose all of the organic, you know, pre-packaged meals and whatnot, like, yeah, those are pretty darn expensive. But if you just cook your meals from home and from scratch, and that could literally be added to the neat scenario because you're moving, you're chopping.
Exactly.
You know, you can recruit your significant other in to cook with you. I feel like we do that a lot. We kind of tag team a lot of like, hey, can you do the chopping? Or, you know.
Another thing with that, actually, is when let's talk about digestion. Okay, the reason also the reason we're talking about this kitchen stuff, this food stuff, because it plays a vital role in all the gym stuff, the playing, the movement. Because, well, you need nutrients for your muscles and your bones and nerves and your blood and everything. So you can't really go to the gym and not do the kitchen part. The food part.
Yeah, the food part it's vital for your energy. It really is, to be able to carry on the movement part.
Yeah, so if you are buying ready to go meals at McDonald's, Taco Bell, wherever you like to eat, fast food places, quick packaged meals.
Or even like the deli in most grocery stores.
The deli.
It's not food.
We'll stop there for a second and then ask you this question. Answer it in your car or wherever you are. I can't hear you, but just answer it. Where does your digestion start? If you said in your stomach, that's not it. If you said in your mouth, that's also not it. When you see food and you smell your food, that is where digestive function starts, because it will tell your body like, oh, food's coming, better get some enzymes ready. And that includes like saliva. You know, there's enzymes in saliva that help break down food even before it goes down the tube, your food tube.
Your food tube. And then that tells your stomach there's food on the way.
Yeah.
When you're preparing your food and all of those enzymes start building up in your saliva and then you swallow it, then it tells and signals the stomach, hey, be prepared, produce more stomach acid so we can break this food down.
Yeah, your body's just more ready, you know? So if you have digestive problems, try cooking some food, even if it's only one meal to start with.
Yeah, and use your aromatics, like garlic and herbs and onion. Like, those are all aromatics. And that's, when you walk into, like, a Italian restaurant and you just smell the garlic, like, that, you know food is on the way. And that's why you might get a little hangry sitting there waiting for your meal, because you're like, I know that food. I'm hungry now. Like, you've been primed.
Stomach might start moving, growling.
Yeah. So, I want to say that going to a restaurant and like smelling that does have some effect on that system.
Probably, yeah.
But it's cooking from home is going to be a lot more nutritious versus a restaurant.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Yeah. We can get into that in another podcast. But...
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there because I said the restaurant.
Yeah. Okay. One last point, going back to movement and gyms and fitness and stuff, is you want to listen to your body as you're going through this stuff, So I'll give a couple examples for people. If your goal is to go to the gym and get sore, I'll just tell you right now, that's not a good goal. Because
the only reason why I work out is to get sore because it makes me feel like I did something.
right, exactly. Well,
No.
yeah, that's not really true, and that's been proven. I'm pretty certain. I can't name a certain study, but it's going to be discouraging for most people. To like for me, for example, when I get sore, I really freaking don't like it. I know that it's not like it's not going to stop me from working out, but I just don't like it.
It's not enjoyable.
It's not enjoyable. For most people, it's going to stop them from working out. So when I say listen to your body, I do say that with a grain of salt. Because sometimes we listen to our bodies with a little bias, and it's not correct.
What do you mean?
Like, oh, I got sore. That must mean I'm doing great.
Oh.
You know?
Yeah.
Instead, you could think of it as, if you're sore for like fucking 3 days, you probably went a little too ham. Went a little too hard. So maybe that means you could also listen to your body and say, okay, maybe I don't need to do that much yet. There's what's called, well, how I look at it is different training ages. If you are not a person who works out and you're just starting out, maybe just try doing like, maybe 4-5 different exercises and only do 1 to 2 sets of each of those exercises. And then, you'll have to, again, listen to your body and modify going forward. Like, oh, was I sore? Was I not sore? How sore was I? Did I get sore for a long time? Like, 2, 3, 4 days, even a week? And then you can address how, modify from there. But yeah, you want to keep a check-in on that. And another thing is listening to your body. There's 2 sides to the coin there. Listening to your body and pushing through and adapting. Because our bodies are able to adapt to specific demands. This is called the SAID principle. Specific adaptations to imposed demands. Basically what that means is you can train up to, for example, a marathon. Whereas maybe right now you can only run 2 miles. So you're training yourself with specific demands in mind to get to a marathon level. So, but there's also the side of, if you are chronically fatigued, if you are chronically stressed, and you think going into the gym 5 days a week is going to help your situation, it's not. It's just not. That's listening to your body and being truthful with yourself. Like, okay, maybe I need to get in nature more. Maybe.
So that's an example of working in.
Yeah, that's working in, which we've talked about before.
Yeah.
If you're just not making progress, you probably need to try something else. Tai Chi, yoga, painting, things that bring energy and excitement into your life.
Yeah.
So if you're at like a plateau, for example, or if you've just never made progress with like weight loss, for example, or pain, then it's time to change the method.
Yeah.
So yes, it's good to push through some things, but it's also good to be intelligent with how you do that.
Yeah.
And,
so the saying that people say often, no pain, no gain, is probably not great.
It's not good.
It's not.
Yeah.
Because it pushes past, like, the intelligence that the body is trying to tell you. Right?
Yeah.
Like, our bodies are incredibly smart and it knows how to communicate with us, but we have to be responsible for ourselves and actually take the time to listen to our pain cues, the pain doctor,
Yeah, exactly.
And sometimes if you're doing certain movements, if you have an injury or something and you're just like pushing past the pain to the point where you're just re-injuring yourself, and then eventually you get to the point, well, now I'm resorting to shots, or surgery or something because you were not listening to your body's pain cues.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, the point is listen to your body with intelligence and intuition, not with a heavy ego.
Yeah. So I feel like to make a different, like to differentiate these two. So like if you haven't worked out in a long time and you feel the burn and you feel like you can't continue on because it's painful, that's when you listen to like, well, is this burning sensation painful, or is it because there is an existing injury that had happened or something, and then that's what's painful. So there's going to be different types of pain, and you want to be able to listen to that intelligently and no, I can push past that. So like if I haven't stretched my quads in a long time and I'm doing squats, I go, oh, I need to not continue this loaded squat, but maybe I just do unloaded body weight squats and then stretching out my quads.
Mm-hmm.
That would be like listening to my body. Like, oh, yeah, these are really tight. I need to readjust. Maybe get some stretching, maybe some massage, work on it, and then go back to my weighted squats. Would that be an example of listening to your body intuitively?
Yeah, seems like a good example.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thought I would just throw that out there because sometimes people will ask the question, like, well, how do I know if it's pushing past the pain or just like, or...
Yeah.
Not, and I'm being a little wussy.
Yeah.
Gotta be honest with yourself here, like how much you can do.
Here's a good technique for you guys. When you're working out in the gym, let's say, when your form starts to break, that's when you stop the exercise. And then, if you didn't make it all the way through what you had in mind, then again, you can adjust as you go. And, you could also do, if you can't do a full range of motion, for example, on something, then you can do partial reps that look cleaner as far as form goes. Just because when form breaks, especially drastically, that's when compensation patterns happen and injury can occur. Mm-hmm. So you don't want to injure yourself trying to better yourself. That's why I keep saying you got to be intelligent with what you're doing.
Yeah. So I feel like there's also a piece here that people want to lift heavier because it looks more impressive, especially if you are in like a public setting. And I think there's a fear around, well, I'm weak. And I can't show people that I'm weak, especially if you first go in to the gym, especially around the new year. You want to like look stronger than what you maybe are, but you have to be 100% honest with yourself and be okay with whatever people think around you. Mm-hmm. And Mel Robbins has this amazing concept of this theory called the let them theory. Mm-hmm. And so go into your workouts with confidence. And maybe you don't have it yet, but just go in there. And if you fear what other people are thinking about you based on how much you can lift, based on your body, whatever it happens to be, go in there and just say, let them. Let them think whatever they think. If that is a worry for you or a fear for you around your movements, because it doesn't matter what is happening outside of you, because you are doing this for you. You're moving your body for you so that you can feel stronger. That way you feel capable, and that you know that you can keep the commitments to yourself no matter where you are at on your health and wellness journey. And so I just wanted to throw that out there, to just let people be people.
Yeah.
There might be some judgment out there from others, but I think we watched a YouTube video of this movement influencer. I don't even know, but he works out a lot. But he puts out all these videos, and he actually interviewed in a like a fat bodysuit, and he's a pretty fit dude. And he started interviewing people like,
Will Tennyson.
Yeah. So he did this interview in this like fat suit, like he did the full get up, like
it looked real.
It looked real, and he's interviewing people, and he's like, well, what do you feel like when like big people are in here? And most people are like, oh, I think they're just trying to do something for them, or they're just trying to better their lives.
Yeah.
And
most gym goers are very supportive.
Yeah. And you know, there might be some people who have internal thoughts, but who needs to worry about that? No one does, because that's their own insecurity speaking at that point. So it's just, I thought that was really cool that he did this interview of, you know, what people thought about big people going to the gym. And they were actually very encouraging. Like, this is a space, you know, to get stronger, and it's welcome to everybody. So
yeah, there's actually another example on that. Another YouTuber, most people might know him. He's pretty good at what he does. Jeff Nippard. He's a science-based lifter.
Oh, is he that shorter guy?
Yeah.
That you recently? Oh, okay.
Yeah. He actually interviewed some people in the gym as well, and I think it was titled like, "Will people much bigger than me take my lifting advice?"
Oh, yeah.
And most people were pretty open to it. Actually, I think pretty much everyone was. They're like, oh yeah, if you can like help me better my technique, then I'm all for it. And not everyone's like that, of course. I think it's when you go to the gym, if you're worried about everyone else, it's your own insecurity, and that could also be worked on.
Oh yeah.
You know, just go in there with a I don't give a shit attitude. I'm here for me.
Yeah.
And that goes along with the goal making. If your goals are truly for yourself, you'll do all right. If they're not for you and they're to impress somebody else, it's not going to be a sustainable thing for you, most likely.
Yeah. Remember that if you're recognizing this in yourself, and you're maybe doing this for somebody else, you know, that you're trying to impress, whoever that might be, just acknowledge it and reevaluate. Well, what would this look like if I did this for myself instead of trying to impress these people? You know, what would that look like? Like, okay, well, for me, you know, when I do this, I would feel very capable and powerful in my own person and as a woman. And yeah, just as an example, if I just asked myself that question. And yeah, it's more of a feeling, you know, what is that feeling that you're after? You know, acceptance, freedom, even. I know for you, like, movement is freedom for you.
Yeah.
Like, and if it's not that, then it doesn't really feel like freedom. I know for me, I have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
And have fun and feel strong at the end of it. So I want to feel very strong. Like, I decided to up my weights with our weightlifting that we've been doing for the past 3 weeks. We just recently bought a dumbbell rack at Costco, and it goes up to, it's from 5 to 30, right?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
30-pound dumbbells. And but before that, our highest dumbbell weight was 15 pounds. And so it's cool to have those higher options. So feeling like, oh, I can do this. So like that's a feeling that I want. And I did that for me. And that's not always been that way. I used to do it for what people thought of me, just to be honest. But now that I've gotten older, I'm like, oh, I need to do this for me because it feels more satisfying. So, yeah.
Yeah, nice. Good for you if you are making any strides towards better health in any way. I would also just encourage you guys, if you want more specific things, for the gym or whatever, or accountability, or to make things easier for yourself, I would highly encourage you to hire a coach, a personal trainer, a physical therapist, somebody who can help you identify maybe where you have weaknesses and how to improve them, or how to even optimize your strengths even further. I think coaches are great. If you can afford one, definitely do it, because it will take you further. Especially if you're the type of person to fall off anything, if you recognize in yourself that you have trouble finishing tasks or programs or classes, it's probably a good idea for you to get a coach and stick to it. Mm-hmm. So that's my rant while Taylor found a quote.
Well, thanks for pulling that out of your brain.
Yeah.
Not your butt.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I found a quote. So, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Ralph Waldo Emerson. I hope you enjoyed this episode 11, on how to strategize and, work on your movement goals for 2025. And yeah, we hope you implement some of the things we have mentioned here, and enjoy the rest of January, because it's literally still just the beginning. And know that it's not too late to start. I know some people will get off the bandwagon or whatever. I'm doing air quotes. But, start anytime.
Anytime is a good time.
Yep.
All right.
I like it.
Peace out. Thanks for listening.
Bye.